much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens.
Well. Hello, EBN family. How is everyone doing today? It is I, Moff Risman. They left me in charge. You know what happens when I'm in charge. Hopefully only good things. Hopefully only good things. And so far, I'm the only one here. So hopefully other people show up to help me, or it's going to be a very interesting stream. So let's say hello, as always, to those folks who are here. I know, Andrew Wall. I know. I'm sorry. Let's see who's with us today. I saw Matt Tween, Venger, Lombardi 1969, Legion of Maul, Jedi Master Lawrence, Sodak Chopper, SRB Outdoors, Brogu, Green Lantern 345, Star Wars Mom. Hi, Mom. Dan Grissom, Joey, Draconis, Deborah Young, Andrew Wall, Matt Cave, Gaming, taking a break to join us. Good to see you, Matt Cave. Who else did I see sneak in? We got Mary Lanning with us. Great to see you, Mary. Comic Donut. Good evening, Comic Donut. How about Vincent Braden in the house? Hey, howdy, hey, to you as well. Warisi. Good to see you also with us. All right. Well, Dan Grissom, Kenny Rogers. All right. Let's see here. Good. Someone has come to save me. It won't just be me. But before we do that, as always, let me remind you of the 4 ways you can be to support the channel. Of course, channel membership. If that's something you'd like to do, find the join button. Join us as a channel member. Love to have you. Patreon. We have Patreon, $5 a month. Try and put some good things out there for you all. What have we put so far? I did load both of the Pee Wee Herman as himself. The documentary is out there. Actually, notice it's out for a couple of Emmys also, and perhaps will be a favorite to win on at least one of those. So that's great if you want to see it. And then I put the Predator Killer of Killers animated anthology movie out there as well. It was a pleasant surprise for me. So those are the types of things that we put out there on Patreon. So if you'd like to check that out, $5 a month is what it costs. Super chats, of course, always appreciated, never required. Just be here. We're glad to have everyone here this evening. And remember, since the rebranding, we need some help, even more so than normal. So share, get this out there so the algorithm sort of comes back to the channel and starts pushing it out. And we really appreciate that. All right, let me bring in a co-host who's here with us. And I should have said at the beginning, Coach is not able to be with us here this evening. I do expect Nick, but of course, some of y'all might be aware we had, and I know I was wondering about knee pain also. There was a lot of foolishness going on today with Google. So it was not a good day to be a technologist, I think. And so I was happy to see StreamYard came back for us to be able to do this stream. So let me bring in knee pain now. Are you alive?
Whoa.
Are you still here? How are you doing?
It's one thing after another. So my friend AI bot took down Google today, but yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was doing my thing, and then we were corresponding over Twitter, and everyone's like, "Is StreamYard down? Is StreamYard down?" And then someone's like, "Oh, half the internet's down." I was like, "Oh, gracious!" It's not been a good day to be a Google identity management employee. I don't.
Yeah, it was a fun couple hours there.
All right. Well, great to have you with us. like I said, I do expect Nick. I have some topics. I know I shared them with you.
Yep, I got him.
Sadly, I had to put the Stormtrooper shirt on, and I know you'll be heartbroken. Only one Star Wars topic today. Can you believe it?
Oh.
Oh,
What are we going to talk about?
The groaning.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So Matt Tween's asking what happened. So there was a Google Cloud outage of some kind that plagued the internet for a couple of hours because a lot of the back-end authentication that these online systems use go through Google services. And so that went down. And so a lot of other stuff went down as well. So the cloud is good until it rains, right, Nipena?
Yeah, well, you have two main providers out there for a lot of big services. Either people are running on Amazon, AWS, or they're running Google Cloud for their back end. But a lot of customers don't know. They just know StreamYard's down. But they don't know StreamYard's, like a lot of us companies are leasing out our back end through Google or Amazon. So one of those goes down, it literally takes down nearly half the internet. So
well, and I had to chuckle because the StreamYard message on their page, if you went to StreamYard and tried to log in, it said something like no stable upstream provider. It was like a one-liner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, couldn't you put up a better I had to find the other page. It's like, couldn't you put up a better page? It's like, who knows even what that means? So.
Well, it was so bad. It actually their own service going down took down their status page. Their status page read as everything was green because their own systems couldn't update their status page.
I love it.
So we actually had to call the reps directly.
I love it. I was actually reading, so doing something very old-fashioned. So let me clear a couple of these member messages, and then we'll hit our first topic. Matt Cave Gaming, 51 months. Goodness sakes, it's been, I can't believe sometimes that the channel memberships have been around that long. Great to see you as always again, Matt Cave. EBN for life. What up, everyone? May all your retro gaming dreams come true. Appreciate you, Matt Cave. And then Draconis is here, gifted 1 EBN membership. Really appreciate that. Who got that membership? Gotta Get Gaming. Someone I don't recognize. So Gotta Get Gaming got that membership from Draconis. Appreciate that a lot. So in honor of those members, where we find the members, play this video for y'all. All right, let's get this. It's been a long time since I've run one of these. All right, here we go. Oh, what do we want to do? We want to do this one. All right, our first article here that I have. First topic, first article. This is about the Star Wars Starfighter movie. And actually, the last topic I have today is the Spaceballs 2 teaser. I'm saving that and Superman for the end, just in case they get a little squishy with us on playing those trailers. But the funny thing about it now is this movie, which I do believe, the Starfighter movie, this is the Sean Levy movie. I do believe it will go into production, or should start filming, I should say, in September. And this article is about the actress by the name of Mia Goth. Do you know Mia Goth? Maxine from the horror franchise? Maxine? Mia Goth?
I'm not too terribly familiar with her. I've never seen, I don't think I can recall the last movie I saw her in.
Yeah, I haven't watched those movies either, but she has been cast in the role that the other gal turned down. So I don't know how I would feel if she wasn't their first choice, but Mikey Madison was rumored to have been offered this, what now is apparently an antagonist role in this film. She turned it down because they couldn't come to terms on salary or on pay. And so now apparently they have selected Mia Goth. And a little bit more came out about this. So in some casting notes or something, what has resurfaced is the premise of this movie apparently is Ryan Gosling's character is taking his younger nephew, who we believe to be force sensitive, taking him someplace, right? He's trying to get him to safety, get him someplace. And Mia Goth and somebody else are antagonizing them in some way, chasing them. And so this article is speculating, of course, that the place they are going, he is trying to get his force sensitive nephew. Where would you think to go to, right? Trying to get him to Ray.
Yes.
And people are inferring this because when they carted them out on Celebration stage, somebody heard a lightsaber hum. And they're like, well, it's set 5 years after episode 9, yada, yada, yada. Who would have a lightsaber at this time? They're saying, well, we got to get Ray out here somehow, right? We got to bridge into this Ray business. And if the rest of it's to believe force sensitivity and et cetera, we could have one of those moments where at the end of the film, right, kind of like they did us with Luke, right? All of a sudden, here's Ray, accepting this child allegedly. And so the reason why I said it was a bit ironic is this movie is due to come out May 2027. So this is what they're putting out there for the 50th anniversary of the franchise, by the way.
Yeah.
Spaceballs 2 now is also supposed to come out in 2027. So knowing what we know about Spaceballs, right, I think there is zero chance. There is zero chance that they will not now, assuming that Spaceballs 2 really does happen, that they will not also release these movies together. So what do you think, putting the Mia Goth of it aside, what do you think about this movie? Knee pain, the premise? You think it's leading to Ray? Does it interest you at all? Is this the movie that saves Star Wars? What do you think about this one?
I would not be surprised if this is a bait and switch to get Ray back in the picture. Even at the very end. Now, I think they need to get back to trying to make single movies good again. I spent a long time, past few weeks, I've been traveling and working, thinking about the TV shows, what's bothering me the most. And for me is I don't think Lucasfilm knows how to really produce episodic content, live action. The pacing of it, they're making it too busy, too many cameos, too many head nods. And I'm just kind of thinking, it's like, if you can't produce a single movie that's good, how do you expect to be producing whole seasons of episodics? You can't string your stories together. So take it back to basics. Try to make a movie. My confidence, just seeing who's on the screenshot down below, Sean Levy, Ryan Gosling, Filoni and Kathleen, it's just like the usual suspects. It's like, I don't know. I really don't know. Actually, I'm just not confident at all.
Well, and I'm with you. They've given, theatrically, again, the last movie we've had theatrically was Rise of Palpatine, right? We have not had a theatrical outing since then. And of course, between now and 2027, we will get Mandalorian and Grogu, which of course has nothing to do with anything of any sort, really.
And it's probably the worst named movie in the franchise of all time.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
But at least Starfighter doesn't sound bad.
So, that one comes first. And the thing about it is, the reason why I really do believe this movie will happen, this Starfighter movie, is because if they want to make 2027, they got to get to stepping, right? It takes 18 months to make these movies, right? And if they want May 2027, 50th, whatever they want it to be, right, they do have to really get going on this. And so I believe September, it has to happen. If we get to the end of the year and they're not filming this thing, then it won't happen. It will not happen by May 2027. I
believe they feel they have an obligation to fulfill the 50th anniversary for the fans. I just still think they're going to probably let down the fans based on the track record.
And there'll be a celebration. There'll be a celebration in 2027 also, which will precede in April. Right. Although it's currently, assuming LA is still around, right? It's due to be in LA. And I shouldn't make a joke. It's due to be in LA in 2027. So I mean, they have a lot riding on whatever does or doesn't happen in 2027. I had to highlight, Veritek's comment. I mean, people don't even remember there is a Mandalorian and Grogu movie coming, right? I mean, it's not.
I keep forgetting until someone mentions it. I'm like, oh yeah, like that's the level of my interest. I was watching, it's a WDW Pro, and I think he had Midnight Edge on, and they're talking about right now the worst ratings they get on their channel for any video is anything that revolves around Star Wars. Just the apathy.
Well, I got to tell you, I really had to search to find even this article. I mean, this was newsy, right? I mean, so this one was kind of, but we usually like to have at least a few articles here, and I collect them through the week. Other than Andor trying to get the Emmys, right? There really isn't much to talk about, although they just put out the Nielsen ratings for the Andor finale, and their gambit worked, right? They're number one, right? They were number one. They finally beat Bluey, 931 million. Rogue One even made it onto the movie chart, right? But I mean, they released 3 episodes. It all built and built and built until they had all this minutes of content out there. It is a little icky, how they did that. But they got their flowers, right, from a Nielsen perspective. But it's very quiet right now for Star Wars, and I think it will remain so for the foreseeable. In September, we have a Rebuild the Galaxy coming. In October, we have a Visions coming, and that's really all we know about for the foreseeable until we move into next year. So I don't know. We're a small but mighty bunch here in the chat. Chat, I'm going to ask you if you have any interest in this movie at all. Put a 1 in the chat. If you have no interest at all, put a 0.
If you have no interest, send a super chat.
I know Ted was the first. Ted was the first 0. Ted was the first 0. Yeah, Ryan Gosling. A lot of people have a problem with Ryan Gosling. He's so Ryan Gosling. You know what I mean? I don't know. Let's see.
He's one of those actors. I like him in the right roles. I don't think I am not confident that he belongs in Star Wars.
All right, we got
Tony.
I'm watching. Well, we've got a few 1s. That's good. Lots of 0s. Tony matters.
I know what Matt Cave's hoping for. He's Starfighter. Matt Cave's hoping for a Starfighter game for channel, some spaceship battles.
Star Wars mom. This is I don't know. We want whatever they put out there to be good. It's wearing a little more than a little bit now. So we'll see what happens with the Starfighter.
I know, there's a part of me just feels like it's like halfway through the movie, like Ahsoka's going to appear because Filoni just can't help himself. Well, I say that now. Watch it actually happens. Everyone's like,
she'd be pretty old. She'd be pretty old at this point, right? She'd show up in a walker probably, or with a cane. She really would. She really would look like Gandalf at this point. Let's see here. We had a super chat come in from Warsi. Warsi for $2. Thanks for the super chat. Does Pizza the Hut support pineapple on pizza? And more importantly, will we see Pizza the Hut? Who played Pizza the Hut? Are they still with us? Will we get a CGI Pizza the Hut? I hope not. Oh, thanks so much for the super chat. Oh my. All right, let's see what else we can talk about. All right, that was the only Star Wars content. So everyone who's here to talk about Star Wars, I'm sorry. Yeah, but good things to talk about. How about this one? Little Indiana Jones. I found this article. I thought it was interesting. It belongs in a museum. Indiana Jones' actual whip is up for auction, and it could be yours for the low price of $500,000. What do you think? Would you pay $500,000
for a beat-up whip? No.
For his whip? Let's see. One of the most iconic props in the movie history is going to auction, and Block's memorabilia seller Prop Store is about to sell the bullwhip wielded by Harrison Ford. in 1989's beloved sequel, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So Last Crusade is actually on an anniversary. I think it's out this weekend. I keep meaning to mention. I should have snagged that. It is being re-released this weekend for Father's Day via Fathom Events. So if you want to see Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, have a look at your local theater or punch up Fathom Events. I'm 100% positive it's coming this weekend. If you want to do that, maybe enjoy it.
I just wonder how he's certifying that whip really. I mean, maybe it did, right? That's happened a lot in movies
here.
throughout
I
the
think
years.
they talked about the provenance. Here we go.
Yeah,
According
I
to
did read about
Prop Store,
that.
the whip has been privately owned for decades, having originally been purchased from someone who worked. Oh, someone snagged it, right? They were on the production and allegedly they snagged it.
Usually extras lying around. Yeah.
It is believed to have been used in the filming of The Last Crusade's big motorcycle chase scene and includes a production tag denoting it was used in filming a sequence called the Ride-Away scene. Going up, Prop Store, it looks like the auction's in September. So if you're interested in Indiana Jones's whip from The Last Crusade, you can save your pennies between now.
Yeah. Are there any obsessed collectors out there that will willing to pay that? I have no idea, but
someone will buy it.
Who knows? Someone will buy it. Some celebrity probably.
So somebody will buy it for sure. Like I said, if you want to spend a few bucks this weekend, go see the Last Crusade in the theater instead. All right, let's see what the chat is saying. Any interest here? We've got a lot of people talking about Pizza the Hut. Legion of Mall, Leslie Headland might buy that. I don't know. She should be. Hopefully, she's saving her money. I don't. Who knows?
Yeah, I know. Like her unemployment's got to be running out here. So.
Oh no, I don't know. Oh, okay. I thought that was cute. All right, let's talk about. Here's a good one. Let's talk about this one. So I saw some people talking about Jaws in the chat, actually. So Jaws is actually getting a 50th anniversary re-release also, but that's not happening until Labor Day weekend. But now apparently, because I think the actual 50th anniversary is this month. I think it is actually June the 20th of this month. NBC is releasing a 3-hour extravaganza of Jaws, the original Jaws, and it has some Spielberg thrown in there. So I guess Spielberg has recorded something he's introducing in, or he's giving a bit of a commentary ahead of time. And so it looks like, here we go, it's going to air over 3 hours on June the 20th, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern on NBC, which is the exact 50th anniversary date of when it was released. The NBC screening and Spielberg's introduction are just some of the plans they have to mark the anniversary. And then this goes on to talk about Major League Baseball games and some things that are going to happen with the Yankees and the Phillies. And then I think in addition, they're going to be on Peacock. They're putting Jaws on Peacock through July 14th. That will also feature all 4 films from the franchise and Spielberg's introduction. So if you're not able to see it when it airs on NBC on the 20th, and if you have Peacock, which sometimes you get it for free, sometimes you don't, you can see it. You can see it there instead. And then what else we got? Starting June 15th, Peacock will also feature a row called Trouble in the Water that includes the Jaws films. So they're just organizing them for people to find. And then, of course, on home video for the physical media enthusiasts amongst us, there's a 50th anniversary digital and combo pack, 4K, Blu-ray, and digital. That'll be out on June the 17th. And then there's a new documentary there and some other stuff coming for Jaws' anniversary. And I know being in Florida, the theme parks also are doing some special Jaws stuff, just to commemorate. And then, like I said, not highlighted in this article, I can't remember. I guess maybe Shark Week. Maybe Shark Week is around Labor Day. There was a reason why they picked the re-release not to be in the summer, and they picked it to be in Labor Day. And so if you're into Jaws and want to see that one on the big screen, that won't be a Fathom event. That'll be an actual re-release, similar to like what they did with Return of the Jedi and some of these other ones that they're putting back out there. So thoughts? Are you a Jaws fan?
Yeah, actually, if it went back in the theater, I would go see it for fun. Just it's one of those great classics that I'll never get bored of. And hey, I always welcome a good flick as a good reason to go to the theater and spend a lot of money on popcorn and a margarita. I do miss theater experience. We went the other night, but I used to go to the movies a lot, and we definitely don't. At least I don't go to the movies as much anymore. So, you know what? If they can't release anything new and good, just if you release a classic that I love, I'll go.
Yeah. What did you see the other night when you went?
How to Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon? Okay. Yeah. How to Train Your Dragons just come out.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't seen any of the originals, so.
I don't hate it. It's just not necessary. That makes
seems
sense.
to be the going consensus on the live action How to Train Your Dragon. So I had something in here about remakes. I took it out just because I thought we'd be running long, but I think it'll do quite well. I mean, I don't think they're going to have any problem in the box office. I'm with you. I mean, I'd much, but I mean, I think it's the nostalgia of it. I don't know that I've ever seen Jaws on the big screen. I can't imagine that I have, unless it was a re-release from before. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. I don't know if I ever have. I just remember as a kid, like when I'm watching it on VHS, like my aunt and uncle's house, but I don't remember if I did on the screen either. So that would be fun.
I think I'm with you. I'm still a bit of a movie fiend, so I do the A list with AMC, and so usually a weekend, or I'll usually go once a week to see something. I'll probably see Life of Chuck, actually, which just opened this week. But for me, this is a no-brainer. I mean, just like when they brought Alien back out on wide re-release, I'll go and see him every time. Sometimes paying for a Fathom event, but these other ones that are included in the membership. I mean, I love Last Crusade. Don't get me wrong, but I have seen that on the big screen multiple times.
I think Jaws would be a fun one to try to take one of the kids too.
Yeah, and and they'll have the popcorn buckets and all the silly things will make an appearance for Jaws, and so I'm glad Spielberg is still with the company in some capacity, and that they respect his legacy, and then he's still active advocates for these things. At the Universal Studios here in Florida, the only original ride left is E.T. And that one's definitely showing its age. I do think in Hollywood, I think the Jaws ride still exists in the Universal that's still in California, along with their backlot tour and some of the other stuff, right?
Yeah, even if it hasn't, it lasted for a long time. It was definitely very popular for a long time. You know what? I would much rather a re-release than some pointless remake or sequel.
Yeah. Yep, and that's why I say that the How I Train Your Dragon dialogue is interesting, right? I mean, apparently it's 99% faithful to the animated movie, and they didn't take any risks at all. And so a lot of people are like, so what's the point other than just a cash grab? You know what I mean? And and then but sometimes people don't want them to stray. It's which way is it? To hit that sweet spot right in the middle, where you stay true to the original intention, and then put something in that's non-controversial but that grows the story in a meaningful way. I mean, well, we can, those are relatively difficult, right? So I'm with you. Like I said, I have no frame of reference just because I haven't seen any of the animated How to Train Your Dragons. I just know and expect that that it'll do well. But we'll talk about Superman and Fantastic Four. I'm trying to save some of these topics in case.
I didn't want to because I saw it was on the agenda until you mentioned it. I was like, oh, now I got to talk about it.
No. I mean, like I said, I had it on there, and I swapped it out. So all right. So chat, what do y'all think? Jaws enthusiasts, anybody interested in tuning in Are people going to tune in to whatever this thing is? Would you even have known if I didn't tell you? Did anybody know about this? Any Jaws fans? If you're a Jaws fan and are planning to watch it on NBC, throw up a 1 in the chat. If you couldn't care less about Jaws, you can give us a 0. I don't know that I'll spend 3 hours on NBC, but maybe in the future in Peacock, I'd like to see what Spielberg has to say. Anyway, I'd rather go and see it in the theater personally.
I would. Yes, definitely. Definitely.
And I don't actually, before we leave this topic, this is one of those things where, is Jaws still relevant? I mean, is it just us older folks who even, I mean, is Jaws still really out there in the zeitgeist? I mean, it's been quite a while since we've had a Jaws movie, right?
Yeah, or any kind of, well, no, I can't say. We've had some shark movies, but
they like to bring the shark movie.
Yeah, they're forgettable and dumb. And Jason Statham, but yeah.
All right, Derek's in the chat. Good to see you, Derek. He said he's going to be checking out Jaws. All right, awesome. Jaws. Legion of Maul, that's on the Blu-ray. Yep, some people might just go for the physical releases. That might be, a lot of people are doing that now. Get those extras and just watch it at home on TVs, which are for most, or for many now, just as good as going out for that theatrical experience. So, all right, let's see here. All right, here's another one we can talk about. Got Mia Goth. I got all these Mia Goth tabs now because I was trying to figure out who she.
What were you doing before we got on the call?
No. Yeah, not like that. All right, another franchise that they seem to want to keep relevant by any means necessary. Our chests are bursting with excitement. Maybe. Alien Romulus director Fede Alvarez says the sequel begins filming in October. So basically, that's just about it. So Alien Romulus, released in 2024, grossed $351 million against an $80 million. I'm assuming that's budget at the global box office, making it the second highest grossing installment in the franchise, next to Prometheus, which is barely an Alien, barely an,
yeah.
As Mel Brooks will tell you, it's barely an Aliens movie, which earned $403 million worldwide. And so basically what this article, there isn't much other details in here. This article is talking about the fact that, which it obviously did plenty well enough for there to be a sequel. And remember, or just as a reminder, I guess, this Alien Romulus was set between Alien and Aliens. So I would have to assume that that this one would follow along from a time frame standpoint. Although somewhere in here he says okay, he said it's been working quietly behind the scenes on the script and putting plans together. And then he says, wherever we go now, we can go into uncharted waters, he said earlier this year. I think it'll be so exciting to go with characters from this movie to a place in the Alien franchise that we've never been before, and to discover things that you've never seen before. So I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly what that means.
Yeah. I didn't mind Romulus. It wasn't, to me, the worst of the Alien movies. It wasn't the best. It wasn't Aliens. For the most part, I thought the action was pretty good, and some of the scenes when they're trying to sneak past the face huggers was definitely very tense. I didn't really get annoyed until when he copied the line, the "Get away from her, you bitch" line. I was
yeah.
No, you crossed the line there. That rubbed me the wrong way. But really, I didn't have too many complaints. I actually appreciated the droid actor. I thought he did a really good job with the character. So I don't think Aliens has been destroyed like other franchises. And if they just try not to do little cameo lines, honestly, nothing from the original movies. I think the fans won't appreciate that like they think they will. So
when it becomes self-referential, right? Not only is it a little bit
yes,
too much on the nose, but it almost is just like the keys are really jangling, right? I mean, it's like it's in your face, and it takes you out of it. I
it
enjoyed
did.
Alien Romulus for what it was. I mean, you could tell it was made with love. It was made with practical effects, and I mean, they took some care in
Yeah,
feeding, and Fede does. I mean, the people who made it loved the franchise. The thing I think that a lot of people found to be a little off-putting was Ash's character, and just some of the CGI and some of the stuff that was done there, which they actually fixed. They when they released it for streaming and all that, they actually went in and fixed it, and he
oh
sort of acknowledged, we rushed this a little bit. It wasn't as good as it could have been. Again, I don't think it was horrible. I mean, it was an artificial, you know what I mean? It was an artificial something to begin with. It just didn't look great, especially on the big screen. But I personally had a good time with it. And then it got a little Ridley Scotted there at the end, right? Where he just had to where he had to do
yeah,
some Covenant stuff. You know what I mean? He just had to bring out his toy chest. And I know that wasn't I know some of those decisions he made in those other movies are not people's most favorite things in the Aliens franchise. And listen, between now and whenever this movie does come out, FX/Hulu is releasing Alien Earth, and Noah Hawley's Alien Earth,
yeah.
which we showed the trailer. Full trailer came on just last week. I think we had it on the show. And I have to tell you again, you have to see how it's all going to fit in. And now there's a xenomorph on Earth, and what are they doing? And how synthetics come into being, and just some of the prequel-esque nature of that series, I think will be somewhat interesting. Looks like it could be good, right? So we're going to get some. I hope it's good, because if that series doesn't do well, or for some reason is poorly received, I don't know. Doesn't really help Fede's case, right? For this
It's going to take away a lot of momentum for the movie.
Yeah. It's going to take some wind out of the sails. But again, I think that comes out. Alien Earth comes out sometime in August, so it does come out. It does come out this summer. So all right. See, I saw GraphWeb is here. Great to see you, GraphWeb. $2. Cancel Disney Plus. Yes.
I'm convinced at this point, GraphWeb is just an AI bot who just automatically hits all the streams that come up on YouTube and super chats them.
And every now and again, I'll be in someone's video, and bless him, I'll see him there too. I'll see him in a comment.
Random, I'll find some
Disney
random
Plus
stream of someone I've never seen before. I'll be watching, and this GraphWeb will pop up. I'm like, wow.
No, it's great.
He's everywhere.
It's great. So we've had a couple of super chatters today, which we always appreciate. Let me play a little video for the super chatters. Thank you as always, for support of the channel. I have no idea what these are now, because Coach Reed did them all. So we're just gonna play. We're gonna play this one, even though he's not here. This is my favorite. I know what this one is. This is for the folks who have super chatted today.
And they give us Pee Wee Herman bucks.
If it was just Nick walking on a treadmill, I was going to die laughing.
No, we don't have that one. That was one of the few that when Coach was redoing everything, I said, "Oh, please don't." He said, "I would never get rid of Pee Wee Herman fights."
That was a great documentary, by the way.
I agree with you. That's why I say I was originally not into it, right? And Coach had watched it, and so chat, we're talking again about the Pee Wee as himself documentary. And so I said I helped him putting some things on Patreon. I said, I'm going to watch it anyway. I said, let me go ahead and do let me go on watching it. I'll just put it on Patreon, no problem. And so, but then I needed to do something, and I was like, the first one was an hour and a half, and then the second episode, I mean, it's 3 hours worth of documentary content, and so I couldn't stop watching. So I had to read, I was like, I was going to get up, and come back and finish, blah, 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 and I was like, no, I mean, I really got into it. And then that second episode, well, first of all, I mean, he recorded the thing very near death. And of course they didn't know that,
Mhm.
and then he wasn't the most willing subject, right? In this documentary, I think, because they really went into all of the scandals. And I had forgotten that Paul Rubens had more than one scandal that he had to sort of that he sort of had to bounce back from and reinvent himself. And all deference to him and his PR team for being able to do it. And whether or not
Well, I
how
think
guilty
that's
you think he was or wasn't, I mean, he came back and became relevant again at least a couple of times.
except for the adult theater incident in Florida. Like I actually forgot. I think it kind of shows how they were able to rebuild because that wasn't the memories I had. Like, oh, he's just this guy.
Yeah.
We all remember that incident, but honestly, like that's not the first thing that came to mind. I was like,
No.
oh, that did happen, and
Yeah.
completely forgot about it. So at least for me, right, it's like his memory of what he did. It's not in a dark place. So
Yeah, and the other thing about it is, as a child of the 80s, right? As a child who grew up during the time that he rose to prominence as Pee Wee Herman, nobody knew who and he hit on this in the documentary, right? Nobody knew him as Paul Rubens, and that was purposeful, right?
yeah,
He invented this character and then basically had I mean, even though we knew it wasn't a real person, right? He basically had everyone sold on the fact that Pee Wee Herman is a real is a real person. And then of course he couldn't get any credit or anything as Paul Rubens, and it sort of born this this bit of a vicious cycle, and I think it really had a profound impact on him psychologically, which came out in the documentary. And I don't think, obviously, I think the documentarian did a great job, but
yeah.
I think it went places where maybe if Paul Rubens had been around and had the opportunity to watch it before it came out, I honestly don't know if it would have come out. Right. And again, Chad, this doesn't have to be a shameless plug again for EBN's Patreon. It is there, if you'd like to join and watch. But if you have Max, or I guess it's HBO Max now, if you have
Yeah.
whatever the streaming
Whatever it
thing
is
is
this week,
called
yeah.
these days, you can find
I
this
can't figure
2-part
that out.
documentary. I didn't have much fanfare when it was released. Candidly, I mean, the Super Slash Man had more of a fanfare, I think, than obviously this Pee Wee Herman. Of course, two totally different topics, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Christopher Reeve's story and Paul Rubens couldn't be further from each other. But if you have a few hours, there's 2 episodes of it. I recommend, the Pee Wee as himself, for sure. But now the Pee Wee Herman bikes will live on in EBN, history on that chat. All right, so let's keep on trucking. I want to hit some of these because I don't know. I'm gonna hit some of these. We'll do this one. Do you watch the Tulsa King? Tulsa King fan?
I'm not
at all?
totally caught up, but I think I got halfway through the second season, so I'm still catching up. But I've liked it.
I really didn't like it at the beginning. Mom and I try and watch the same shows, and of course, the language and the violence and everything. It was a complete turnoff, which I understand, right? It got very violent, didn't it? And then
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone. He's never been a good actor, right? You, in my opinion, you watch things that have Sylvester Stallone in it because he's Sylvester Stallone, right? And so I got into it. I'm trying to say that the ensemble cast was good, and then they made the cast even better. I think in season 2, when they brought in who did they bring in? They brought in the guy with the blue eyes who's in all the faith-based things now.
Yeah.
Neil McDonough, and then they
Yeah.
brought Frank Grillo, and I mean they just brought in great folks.
Well, they didn't have Sylvester try to carry it on his own.
That's right. That's right. Because remember, after the first season or whatever, he was kind of like, in a very Sly Stallone way, he was like, "I'm over this, right? I can't do any
Yeah.
more of this," and yada yada yada. And then, of course, everyone loved it. He's like, "I'm doing more of this." You know what I mean? And so now season 3 is coming. It's been quite popular, and it's now come to light that Samuel L. Jackson has a cameo role, or has a, I shouldn't say cameo, has a guest starring role in Tulsa King season 3, because now they have greenlit Nola King, a New Orleans. It's set in New Orleans, obviously. A similar kind of a story, but instead, Samuel L. Jackson apparently is going to be the kingpin, right? He's going to be sort of the Sylvester Stallone of this new series. It's by the same folks, I guess. Taylor Sheridan. Pretty much everything Taylor Sheridan puts out has at least some viewer. They should just rebrand Paramount Plus to Taylor Sheridan Network.
There's going to be the Sheridan Network. Give it 5 more years. He's going to have his own streaming network, just all his content.
Although Mobland did well, but I mean Guy Ritchie. I mean, again, Guy Ritchie is going to do what Guy Ritchie does, right? But you know, oh yeah. But this, and I see some commentary in the chat about Samuel L. Jackson specifically. There isn't really any details on this at all, right? Other than, I guess, because he's going to be in season 3, they felt like they needed to say something about it. So you have to assume he'll somehow become anointed, or maybe he's already there and they'll be, who knows what's going to happen, right? But he'll have his own crew and be going through, what do you think? What do you think about Samuel L. in this kind of a role? I mean, does it work? Do you think it could work?
It's hard. I've liked Samuel L. Jackson in a lot of roles and shows throughout the years, and maybe Marvel burned me out a little bit with his character, and Nick Fury. But could I just see Samuel L. Jackson in a role where he's not Samuel L. Jackson? Right, the same inflections, the same kind of like Al Pacino was always did like the Al Pacino stuff where he go on little tangents. He always did that in some movie, talked really loud, and everyone really liked it. But kind of looking back, it was like Control C, Control V, Control V. Right, it's always like the same performance. And is he going to be like a new kind of character, or is he just going to like channel Nick Fury because he was buried in that for so long? I don't know. I think I did like him. Maybe I'm just burned out like a lot of other maybe actors who are associated with Marvel, some of those franchises that were beat into the ground and rubbed in our faces for the past 10 years. Like some people say he's in everything, and I used to be, when he wasn't everything, I think I enjoyed seeing him more. So I'm honestly not really terribly excited at this moment. Not that I won't check it out, but I'm definitely not like giddy over it.
Yeah, it's one of those things for me where I and I'm not saying they're not going to make a season 4 of Tulsa King. I mean, God willing, I'm sure they'll make as much Tulsa King as it remains popular and as Sylvester Stallone is able to continue to participate, right? But I think personally, I'd just rather watch Tulsa King season 4. Maybe we'll get Tulsa King season 4 and Nola King season 1. Who knows what they're going to do? But I wouldn't bet that they would compete against each other, right? So I'm kind of with you. I mean, for me, the most pervasive role, I think, that I always equate Samuel Jackson with is Nick Fury, which is the point I think you were making on the Marvel side. And I don't think that's worked to his benefit, at least not from a Secret Invasion standpoint, for sure. I mean, they just totally ruined that character. But I think Samuel L. Jackson has the temperament to play this role. I mean, we know he's played these kinds of roles before. To me, it's all around the ensemble that they're going to put there with him, I think, just like it was with Sylvester Stallone, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. I see someone is here.
Let's see.
Are you there?
Hey!
There he is!
Man, I literally just got finished up with the last bit of work crap that I've been tied down with for the last 2 hours.
Well, before right as the stream was starting, I was bumbling along by myself for a minute, and then knee pain popped in, and he and I had been talking about this kind of on Twitter about this Google stuff that went on all day. And I said to him, I said, "Oh, I don't know about Nick." I said, "It's not a good day to be. It's not a good day to be a technologist."
I literally have heard nothing because I've been tied up the whole time. This is why I told Coach, I was like, if you are relying on me to do a Thursday night stream, you cannot count on me because I don't know if I'm gonna be tied up. I don't know. It's just completely random, that I'll have stuff pop up, and sometimes I don't have anything going on. But yeah.
Well, like I said, today ended up being a day, and I almost called you before we started and said, well, maybe we shouldn't. But I said, oh, I got the
I wouldn't have
agenda.
been able to answer because I was on a conference call.
Yeah, I was
But
like, probably
I
wouldn't
could
have been able
have
to pick up
at least,
anyway.
I could have at least responded.
So you came at a good time, right? And I saved a couple articles that I knew you'd want to talk to anyway. So you missed not much really on one Star Wars topic. So you're like missed all the non-Star Wars. But I wanted to ask you because I know
I filled in for you 0 out of 10.
Well, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I've been having a great time.
0 out of 10 for Star Wars project.
No problem. But so I know you're a Tulsa King fan, right, Nick? You watch Tulsa.
Love Tulsa King, and I heard about Samuel L. Jackson coming for the next season. I think that's awesome.
And now he's getting his
that
own
show's
spinoff.
great.
He's getting his own series as well.
That's even better. I'm all for it. Tyler Sheridan has been just killing it with all. I don't think he's made a bad show. Literally, I can't think of one.
Well, and I haven't watched and I know people love them, but I haven't watched, and I need to because apparently the one with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren is really good, but I haven't watched any of his, what I call his Western type stuff, right? I haven't watched, didn't he do Yellowstone and 1923 and these things? Those are Taylor Sheridan also, aren't they?
Yes.
I think so. I haven't watched any of those. But the ones I have watched, I agree, they've been good. They've been good.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's been good stuff. And I'm looking forward to season 3, Tulsa King. The first 2 seasons were phenomenal. Like I said, every single show that he has done has been top notch. I literally have 0 issues with any of them.
If you hadn't have told me that Guy Ritchie did Mobland, I probably would have said Taylor Sheridan did Mobland, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I have not seen Mobland, but I have heard tons of people talking about it and said it was the shit. Like it was a must watch. You got to watch Mobland. So it is on my list of things to watch. I've not seen it yet.
Oh, my only thing about Mobland, which won't be a problem for you at all, right? I mean, it's every bit as bloody and violent as any of the Tulsa King is, right? I mean, some of Mobland is quite graphic, right? So you just have to know what you're getting into.
Probably
and the thing is, Stallone in Tulsa King is like a good guy, mob guy. It's kind of a weird dynamic, because he's a bad guy, but you're rooting. He is the premise.
He's a bad guy trying to do good.
Yeah, he is the anti-hero.
Yeah,
he is the definition of anti-hero.
And he builds that. The thing that I really liked and I really got into, especially as it moved into the second season, is that supporting cast. He really built them as a family, right?
Yeah.
You don't just see him as people who work for him, right? Because he's like the Don of Tulsa. I mean, I thought they did a really good job, just the chemistry of the people who are in the series, making it appears like they're a family. You know what I mean? They're more than a work family. They're a do or die. So, and I think Mobland does that well also. But I would say the big difference with Mobland is it's totally done through fear. Right, through fear and unknowing and just ruthlessness and just you don't like anybody in Mobland and you're not supposed to. In Tulsa King, you kind of like everyone, even if you're not supposed to.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree.
All right. So let's see if somebody fired something in. Yep, Sodak Chopper, member for 13 months. Welcome to EBN. Who is here? Everyone but Nick.
Hey, I'm here now, Sodak. I'm here now, and that's all that matters.
Everyone but Nick.
Look, literally, so when we switched from Saturday nights to Thursday nights, because it was going to work out better for Coach, I was like, it's going to work out better for you, but it's not going to work out better for me because I'm working Thursdays, and I might have to jump out. I might not make the beginning. I might not be able to close out the end. I don't know, and so it's not better for me, but it was better for him. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do EBN cast on Fridays when we actually do have it, and it's not canceled. So and that's why I do it. Outside of my work hours, right before I have to log into work. Every Friday at 2:00 Central Time.
There you go. There you go. And so I saw someone in the chat, and it's gotten away from me now, but they were commenting there was a Heart ad on that. The band Heart's coming apparently to the amphitheater here. And they were like, loving that ad, loving that. And I've seen
some
Heart. I've seen Heart a couple times, but
Barracuda.
I did want to send, and my mom reminded me also, I wanted to send RIP of 2 legends. We did lose 2 music legends. I think they were both this week, right? One was Sly Stone. And when I saw Sly Stone, I was like, my mind went Sylvester Stallone, and I panicked.
Same. Yeah.
I panicked, but this was Sly of the Family Stone, so a famous R&B, one of the preeminent and sort of foundational R&B stars, sadly passed. And then also Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys.
Yep.
Brian Wilson also passed this week, just very recently. Neither one of the two did I know was still with us. Not that that matters, but just wanted to send an RIP to two music legends. We're getting old. They're getting older. It's kind of how it works. So I don't know that I'll make it to that Heart concert, but I have seen Heart a couple of times.
Well, if you do make it, you won't be disappointed.
They put on a great show.
But Styx, who you did also see recently, God, that is the one band. So if there's 2 bands that I want to see that I've not ever seen before that are old school, it's Styx and the band Yes.
Oh, I've seen Yes also. So Nipe and I was when was that? Was that this week? The beginning of last week, they had come through town here. Don Felder. There was all three different people. They each had their own set, but Don Felder was here. Kevin Cronin and his band was here, and then Styx came and performed. And so I was peppering people with badly taken videos of these people. And I will say Styx did, Styx sounds like Styx, even if what's the fella? I've seen him, not the lead singer that I've seen from Styx, his name just flew from my mind, that I've seen perform separately. Kevin Cronin is REO Speedwagon, even though he was with Kevin Cronin's band. I thought the Styx performance was amazing.
Is it all the same people?
I don't know. I know it's not the lead singer whose name, somebody help me in chat, whose name,
Tommy Shaw.
Dennis DeYoung, who was Styx, who was the lead singer of Styx. Thank you, Donnie. Ranger Donnie gave it to me just as it came to my mind. They had a falling out, just like Kevin Cronin just had another falling out with REO Speedwagon. They're always falling, but the Styx one is an irreconcilable problem. So the answer to your question is the lead singer clearly is not original, but I think a lot of the other band members are. Just like Kevin Cronin just fell out with REO Speedwagon, so he was there with his band, and his band's a lot of famous band members from other bands that they're no longer with. But every song he sang was an REO Speedwagon song, right? And then Don Felder did his thing, in the Eagles with his dual, with that fancy guitar he always had and everything. So that other than it being a 4-hour concert and me being dead to the world the next day, I mean that was totally worth it. It was totally worth it. So highly recommend Styx.
Yeah. So Tommy Shaw, he was the backup. He sang backup, right? He was the second.
I'd have to look it up, but they had the keyboard spinning around, and he was jumping all over the place. I mean, that was so high energy.
Yeah. Kansas, that's another band that was high energy back in the day.
Yeah, I've seen Kansas and Yes. They're still both performing. You can see both of them. A lot of the originals are still with them as well. All right, here's a couple I was saving just in case you could pop on. So the thing that was so expensive apparently didn't have a problem selling.
Not surprised.
Oh.
Yeah, Nintendo just, they always do well, and I think they know it. And that's why they are probably like, we can jack our prices up and people are still going to pay for it.
And apparently they did, right? So again,
It's like that super, super good hooker that you are paying money for that's really good at her job. She raises her prices. You're still going to keep paying for it because it's that good. That's Nintendo. They are the hooker of the consoles.
and they are just as difficult to get, right? Because these things
Yes.
flew. These things flew. And I heard stories of people who were still able to do day of pre-orders and still pick up. And I've heard other stories of people who went to pick up their pre-order and said, "Well, I'm here. I want to buy another one," and they were able to buy another one. So I don't think it was the case necessarily that Nintendo didn't put out enough stock per se. I think these retail establishments chose sort of how they wanted to adjudicate giving out not the pre-orders. Pre-orders a pre-order, right? But giving out the rest of them. And then I've heard other horror stories of people who pre-ordered and their orders got canceled, as shipping or whatever. But yeah, this is what 3.5 million units in the first 4 days, and then they've gone out of stock. I think for maybe they're back now. Again, this article's a little bit old now. And I guess what? It's really just everyone wants to play the new Mario Kart. Is that pretty much it?
I mean, pretty much. I mean, the Mario Kart game is what pretty much that, and the fact that you can play regular Switch games and even Wii U games on there. There's a lot of upgrades to the older games, a lot of backwards compatibility. And people are like, look, I can play all my old stuff on here with a better experience. And, that's why they're paying money for it.
Well, and I've watched a few people play the new Mario Kart or whatever, and I don't know. It's just I'm just not good with those kind of games. It sure looks fun. People are having fun doing it, but then you can play with so many at once and on the online play. But God bless everyone. I know that people still, you're right. Nintendo has more than a cult following now. I feel like they took off back when we were kids, and they've kind of never stopped, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, Draconis says Zelda isn't even out yet, right? I think the only thing that's out is the Mario Kart on release, right? I don't even know when the rest of the stuff is coming.
I don't think they've given any release dates.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Take care, Brogu. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, so Mario Kart World, the new Metroid game, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment, Kirby Air Riders. Well, see, a lot of this stuff is just all to be announced. A lot of this stuff is just up and coming.
Yeah.
So, but your favorite game in the world, Risman, is Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh, should have
It's your
known.
favorite game.
Is Matt Cave still here? He'll be thrilled.
Yeah. So the thing is, he does have it on Switch too. Here, hang on one sec, guys. I'll be right back.
No problem. No problem. So, need paying a gamer at all?
Yeah.
And do you do anything with the Switch with Nintendo? Does it matter?
No,
Do you
never
care?
gotten a Switch at all. No, I haven't.
I have this very first Switch, and I can't remember now why I got it. Maybe it was to play Mario Kart, and of course I got the Zelda and some other things, and I got it hooked up to the TV here in my office and all that. And again, it was a pandemic purchase. I played it a bit then, took it around with me like I would play it on vacation or whatever, and I came to realize that the last thing I want to do when I'm on vacation is play on the Switch. You know what I mean? So
All right, I'm back. I just
no
had to
problem. So of all the games
respond
you
to this.
mentioned, Nick, I think Metroid would be the one that I would have probably Metroid would have been the one that I probably bought and played. I mean, I don't know.
Oh yeah. I mean, the Donkey Kong Bonanza. I think there was a trailer on that. It looked pretty good. So a lot of people were saying that the Mario Kart World is actually not as good as Mario Kart 8.
Hmm.
A buddy of mine in Birmingham, my buddy Matt, me and him get together, and he's got like his little man cave set up with the Switch, and we literally just like drink and play Mario Kart all night long. And he actually owns the game and plays it all the time, and I destroy him in that game. Destroy him. Like every once in a while, he might win like one or two races, and he'll get super excited. But then I put him right back in his place and just completely destroy him in like the next match. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. But I heard Mario Kart World is just not as good as 8. But
Well,
it
and I
did just come out.
Well, and I know the Geeks and Gamers crew. I've been, a lot of them got the Switch just for this, and they've been
Yeah.
playing it, and they have
Yep.
provided the different ones. Them have provided the same kind of feedback where it's good, but it's not great, right?
Yeah.
And there are parts of the game that feel, from what I understand, feel like they didn't quite finish it,
Yeah.
and felt like, well, what we put out is going to be good enough. And I think the online play and the many person play and
Mhm.
all of that is fine. But yeah, I think there was this expectation that it was going to be superlative, right? And
Yeah.
I don't know that they necessarily satisfied that, at least for the hardcore enthusiasts. That was the impression I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's I mean, it's the same impression I got from the people that I know that either have one or people that I watch on YouTube that have been talking about it.
Well, and this is Draconis is saying what I experienced just watching on stream. I mean, it's just so many people are playing and so much is going on.
Yeah.
Just to watch it, I can't do. I couldn't imagine if I if I was
Yeah,
actually one of
so
the people playing it.
yeah, I heard that as well. The 24 racers is just it's too much. Uh in the like people went through that. So I'm an old school Battlefield guy. I was playing Battlefield Bad Company, Battlefield 3, and it was like, 24 players, 12 people on a side. And it was like that was like mayhem
Mhm.
back then. And then they went to like 54 players in, but the maps were bigger, but the thing is, after a while, after the game started to burn out, it was hard to fill servers up and to actually get people on. Battlefield 3, when there was a very less few players on there, even after it was starting to die out, you could still jump on a server and get
Mm.
into a full server of 24 people, 12 people on a team. So
Uh-oh.
Nope.
That was a very profound statement. He was here
So,
and
that's
he
it.
was gone. I was like, wait, did I drop? And I was like, oh, Pain's still here. Give him a chance to. There he comes. He back.
I don't know what's going on. So Mike's internet has been having problems all week.
No problem. No problem.
I literally, me and him sat at a restaurant earlier this week, just so I could work, and sat there and ate. But he might have picked them up as a tax client also, so it worked out good for him. It didn't really work
Worked. You both worked.
because I was working, but I was spending money. He was not working and basically possibly making money. So, but yeah, it's his internet's been kind of crappy this week. That's probably what just happened. I don't know.
No. No worries. Well, I got one more Nintendo related, and then we're gonna close it out with the July movie bonanza, right? Well, one of them.
Did you guys already do Spaceballs?
No, I'm saving it. I'm saving it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And plus, I wanted to put Spaceballs and Superman towards the end, because if we show the trailers and somebody gets squishy about it, I didn't want. Figure, well, if the stream gets taken down at the end, it's not so bad as if it gets taken down at the beginning. So I put that stuff at the end. But let's put this one up. This is about the Zelda movie. We can put the Zelda one up, and then we'll go. Where is it? Oh, here we go. And this is just about a slight delay. Although now I notice this is another something that's going to be in 2027. So now in May of 2027, we probably got the Zelda movie. We got Starfighter, the Star Wars movie, and I'm betting you that we're going to get Spaceballs 2 because they're going to have. If they don't release Spaceballs 2 to compete with the Star Wars movie, I don't know what they're doing, right? But this here comes from Miyamoto, just putting out an X post, I think earlier in the week, just saying that they're delaying this movie from March 2027 to May 2027. And from what I understand, just reading other articles and poking around, they just needed more time. It is a little weird because I think they just was only a couple of months ago. It's been relatively recent that they even named March. But again, just delaying it to May, I don't know. But that's basically the gist of this. I know there was some other scuttlebutt about casting for Link or whatever, and I think that didn't end up being a real thing. So I think we don't know anything about the castings yet. So do we have any hope for this movie? I mean, they didn't. I mean, if Nintendo's involved, what do you all think about the Zelda movie and this delay? Is it a worry? Is it not a worry? What do we think?
I'm gonna say no. It's not a worry. And this is why. Because the thing is that they're delaying it for a reason. A lot of game studios, they will meet their deadlines. The last couple Battlefield games, for example, they dropped the game and the games were broken. Or Blizzard would drop, Diablo 4 and it was broken day one. Other movies have come out and they've just been complete shit. They didn't push them back to try to do reshoots or nothing. So anytime stuff gets delayed, yeah, it sucks, especially if it's something that you're really into. Final Fantasy VII remake was actually delayed like 2 months.
Mhm.
And that was my most anticipated game at the time, and I was super disappointed. But I understood that they delayed it for a reason because they want the game to be ready day one. So the fact that they are delaying it just kind of tells me that hey, they actually care about what they're doing here, and they want it to be the best that it can be when they release it. So I'm fine. I'm fine with the delay.
There's no reason to rush it out either.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like we need this movie to come out or the stock market's going to crash, You need
well, and pushing it closer to the summer is never a bad idea. And like I said, if some of these other pseudo blockbusters
so far off, 2027, that's a ways off.
Maybe, and they might just be in a great spot, right? If a lot of the other stuff waits to come out around Memorial Day or whatever, and this comes out a little bit early, maybe they just sneak in, right? I hope it's well cast, and I hope the story is engaging. As a huge Zelda fan, and there are so many Zelda fans out there, whether you're an original Zelda fan or a more recent Zelda fan, I hope they knock this out of the park, literally, and that Nintendo.
No, me too.
And Nintendo stays involved, right? And that they put out a quality product. Absolutely.
Yep. No, 100% agree. And I'm looking forward to it. Like, I love the Mario movie when it came out, and that movie did over $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, speaking of more billion-dollar possibilities, right? Let's talk about what everyone's been talking about, right? We'll talk about the July movie situation, and then we'll end the stream with Spaceballs 2. But a lot of people are so focused on Superman and Fantastic Four coming out, which again,
that movie's gonna bomb so hard.
And so the interesting thing about it, so Jurassic World comes first, right? And they're choosing to release Jurassic World Rebirth. This will be a July 4th weekend release. And so everyone started selling tickets now. We're hearing all the fandangos are going down and all this nonsense is happening. And so when it all comes down to it, I personally think, and I'm not the only one who thinks this, I think Jurassic World will do considerably better than either of Superman or Fantastic Four. Dinosaurs sell, and this franchise, I see some people, Dan Grissom, are we over it at this point? You know, it's been a lot of Jurassic stuff, right? But where I'm going with this is right now, based upon all the pre-sales, because not only Superman did that weird Prime thing where they sold more tickets on the Prime thing than Fantastic Four sold on their up to that point on their real thing, and all that weirdness. But all three of these movies now seem to be on track to open domestically in about the 120 to 125 million dollar range, right? So they all seem to be poised to open around the same amount. I think obviously what's going to happen is the longevity of it, the word of mouth of it, and as we know, the Marvel stuff tends to be very front loaded. Superman's a bit of a unknown at this point, although it has sold well. Jurassic World, I mean, those movies tend to get up there in the $1 billion range. I think the question I have for you all is there are now 3 big movies coming all in July. Do you think the normal consumer is going to go to the movies 3 times in July to see all of these movies? Do you think they'll pick and choose which movie to see? And if so, where's your money at? What do you think of these movies? Which one do you think will do the best out of the from a long-term perspective?
So I looked at the Jurassic World trilogies as they've kind of come out in the box office numbers, and as each additional movie came out, it made every single time, it made less money than the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time, from the very first Jurassic Park movie to the very last one that came out. So I'm guessing this one's probably going to do less than the one before it, which I think was it. I don't have the numbers in front of me. Hang on, let me pull them up real quick. But I
Did it
want to
get to
say
800 million? Wasn't it?
I think so. Movie box office. So the last one was Jurassic World Dominion, right? Was it Dominion or was it Fallen King? No, it was Dominion. Yeah. No. Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, Jurassic World Dominion.
Okay.
So yeah, 376 million worldwide.
Oh, it only did 300 and it did that little?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lifetime gross 376 million.
Okay.
The one before that did 417. Jurassic World did 652. So each time it got worse.
Mm-hmm.
Lost World, which was the third. No,
Jurassic World Dominion grossed $1 billion.
Lifetime. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong.
You got
page.
domestic. You got
I
domestic. No, you're right. You got domestic.
I got
only.
domestic. Yeah.
Yeah.
World. Yeah. So I'm looking at domestic. So yeah, Jurassic World Dominion did gross $1 billion.
Just barely, right? Just barely. Just barely over $1 billion.
It will. I'm guessing that this one doesn't hit $1 billion. I think it's going to probably be 800 to 900 million range globally.
Yeah.
It'll just miss that $1 billion mark. And Dan Grissom said it in chat earlier.
Jurassic out. He's not the only one that may be Jurassic.
Yeah, it's run its course.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
and the thing is, after this franchise takes some time, and then maybe they bring it back, down the road 10 years from now, that first movie, it'll be a huge success, and people.
Well, they have to stop doing the same thing. Oh, we have to go to the island. Oh, it's a walk in the park. Don't worry, we're highly trained, and somehow kids get involved and things fall apart. People die. It's like, I think they could. I think the audiences in the theaters could enjoy a Jurassic Park movie, but not. Now it's the exact same, for the most part, plot over and over and over again, going back to the island. I don't know what they would do different.
Of the island, right? Now it's the
island. And there's an island we didn't know about, and it's like, oh my goodness! Like,
how many times has that storyline been used, Knee Pain? Oh, this is the
Ah,
island. This is where the original dinosaurs were bred for the
yeah,
first Jurassic Park. Like 2 or 3 times, I think, at this point,
I
it's been
know.
used.
Yeah, and
Is there
so
canon
I'm
involved with Jurassic Park? Does each writer just make up his own thing and ignore the other movies? I have
so
no
Nah,
idea at this point.
yeah.
so while I'm totally with y'all, people just need to buy a ticket once, right? And I'm kind of with Nick. I think of these three movies, this movie, Jurassic World, has the best opportunity to get the closest to a
Yeah.
billion. Wouldn't surprise me,
Yeah.
8 or 900 million.
Yeah.
If you
I
gave me the
think
choice, I would take Jurassic, honestly. I'm not Fantastic Snore. I don't care
No
about.
way. Yeah, no way that
And
hits a
I've watched
billion.
the Superman trailers. I'm not excited for Superman.
well,
So if you gave me the
we're
choice,
we'll
Yeah.
get there in a second,
yeah,
but I'm with you, right? I'm not buying I won't buy an advance ticket for any of these.
no.
Again, I'm in a subscription program. Why would I pay $25 to go and see Superman 3 days early when I've already paid $25 for him? I can see it for free, right?
Yeah.
And so I mean there isn't anything about these three movies that says they need my money early. I'm just at least for a few of these movies, there is a demographic that is across all three of these movies. And just knowing what I know about the theaters right now, it's hard enough to get somebody to come out and see one movie in a month, let alone three.
Yeah. And T Rex made a good point, and I agree. Kids love dinosaur movies. So I think if my kids are going to
Yeah.
pick one of these three, it's going to be Jurassic Park if they want to go.
The only thing that has me a little, I agree. The only thing that has me, and I'm sure it's only rated PG or PG-13, but the only thing that has me a little concerned about the most recent trailer for Jurassic World is it seems a little horror-esque. It seems a little bit more horrified, if you will, than some of the more. And again, there's always a component of dinosaurs eating people that isn't the most pleasant thing to watch, right? But
Mhm.
it just seems like they're leaning into that a little bit. But I'm with you. I think, you know, whether you the days of arguing that a Superman movie would be a family movie, I think those days are gone, right? And whether you put American Way in it, whether you put Human Way in it, however you choose to spin it, right? I think the days of Superman being a family draw, those are probably no longer with us. So that's why I'm like, if people are going to choose one of three, I think they're going to go see the dinosaurs, especially if there's a family involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
All right.
I mean,
Let's
if I had kids, I would definitely take them to the new Jurassic Park movie before I'd take them to see Fantastic Four, and maybe and probably even Superman. But Superman would probably be my second choice. Behind a dinosaur movie. What kids don't like dinosaurs? I wanted to be a freaking paleontologist. When
Yeah.
I grew up, when I was a kid, because I liked dinosaurs so much.
Well, and Dan Grissom's hitting on it also, right? There is that component to a dinosaur movie where you just sit down, you got your popcorn, you're like, I'm here to see dinosaurs eat people. I'm here
Yeah,
to see, and
exactly.
I'm here to see people trying to escape from being eaten from
Yeah,
dinosaurs.
I want to see
And
the
I'm,
chaos.
you know what I mean? And I don't need to think about why they're encountering dinosaurs. I just need to, you know what I mean? I just need to see it happen.
The thing
And
is,
my kids won't care. They're going back to the island for the umpteenth million time. I'll be annoyed by it. The
exactly.
For
kids
some
won't
kids,
care
this will
about
be
it.
the first time, but that's the other thing,
Yeah.
right? For some families, this will be the first time they've taken kids to a Jurassic anything on the big screen. So that, you know what I'm saying? So there
Yeah.
is that part of it where it's like, well, it's my first time taking my kids to see a Jurassic dinosaur movie on the big screen. They're going to buy a ticket.
Mm. And the thing is, this movie would do $1 billion if this was a Jurassic Park movie where they were dropping the dinosaurs in on like the LA riots, and they
Oh,
were like freaking, going on a rampage on all the rioters out there. It would cross $1 billion. Everybody would go see that.
well, and this is I know you're being facetious, right? But when you juxtapose it against Superman and Fantastic Flop here, it was so funny, right? Because every Marvel movie is going to be the best Marvel movie that's ever happened since the last Marvel movie, and we know it already. And I had a Thunderbolts article in here, and I'm like, why are we even going to? I took it out. I was like, we don't need to keep
Yeah.
on that train, right? But what I'm trying to say is, you know, when we had the tickets open up for Fantastic Four very, very early, like really early, and then, oh, this is the best ticket sales we've had all year. I'm like, yeah, it competed against nothing, right? And then
Yeah.
okay, that was a wide every you know, those advanced tickets were quite widely distributed. And then Superman comes with the Prime thing and kicks you know, Fantastic Four's ass, and it was a very limited release of those tickets. And then all of a sudden, it became, you know, the best ticket sale in the space of days. It became the best ticket sales
Well,
we've ever had this year. It's just silly.
I mean, when Superman is going up against Hitman, Agent 47, you know, it's a no-brainer for anybody that gets the video game reference there. It's going to be a way better movie. Even if the Superman movie sucks, it's going to be a way better movie than Fantastic Four with Pedro Pascal, who everybody is so sick and tired of him. You know, and their political messaging and crap that they're still trying to do. And on top of that, if the rumors are true and ultimately they fail and Galactus destroys their universe and they multiverse travel to the MCU that we've known for the last 20 years, and that's how they end up there, and their universe is destroyed and they're basically failures at the end of the movie, who wants to go see that? Like, this is a
Well,
complete setup just to get them over there and to explain away why they weren't ever there or around during the whole MCU thing.
Well, I mean, so a couple things, right? As one of the few people who saw Thunderbolts, right? I mean, there is a post-credit scene where it does appear to be the Fantastic Four jet appearing in that current, you know, MCU universe, right? You don't know who's on
Yeah.
it, you don't know the circumstances, but that does happen, right? And I don't know that you have to be worried about Pedro Pascal leading anything in this movie, right? Apparently, it's Sue Storm is in charge of everything, and she and the
Yeah.
Silver
Girl
Surfer
power. Girl power.
she and the Silver Surfer do whatever they do at the end. So if the world ends up annihilated for whatever reason, I guess it's Sue Storm's fault, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in this movie. I have very little interest in Fantastic Four, to tell you the truth. And Superman, I want to be interested, and we'll play the trailer here in a second. I want to be interested. They're just not making it very easy for me to be interested
No, they're not.
in Superman. So that's why I say my money's on dinosaurs again, just because I know exactly what I'm going to get in
Yep.
that movie.
I think the Jurassic Park movie does better than either of these, but if one of them was to beat it, it'll be the Superman movie.
Oh, I'm with you, right? I think and neither one of these movies will be profitable, right? We don't need to talk profit because there's a $200 million marketing budget for Superman, in addition to, I think, a rumored upwards of a $300 million production budget. Of course, they're being a little squishy on that. And for Fantastic Four, I don't think we know. But I mean, if you've got $500 million wrapped up in the thing, they're not worried. Doesn't appear that they're worried about making a profit. But I think Superman could do $600 or $700 million. I think that's very possible because people are probably more curious than us in our bubble necessarily, although our bubble is bigger than I guess people believe it to be. I think it's likely Superman will do 600 or 700 million. If Fantastic Four does 400 million, I'll be surprised.
No,
Right.
I'm in
I think
complete
there's
agreement.
very little chance that Fantastic Four will do better than Superman, and I think there's very little chance that Fantastic Four is going to do big money. Maybe it'll do 500 million, but even if its budget is 250 million plus, again, there's no way it will be profitable.
No, I don't think so either.
Will it be a surprise, and could it be good? I mean, anything's possible, but it certainly doesn't seem that way.
The only way it is super profitable is going to be word of mouth. If
Mhm.
everybody is going and seeing this, and then comes out that first weekend and says, "This is the best Superman movie I've ever seen." Everybody needs to go see this. They nailed Superman in this, and everybody is out there saying that. This movie it'll blow up. But if word of mouth is bad after that first week,
Yeah.
No, it's going to be in the toilet.
Yeah, and I mean, well, I guess we'll see soon enough. We'll see on Superman sooner, right? Because I think
Yeah.
Superman's what July the 11th, and then what
Mhm.
Fantastic Four might be something like the 24th, or something a little bit later in July. So I mean, we'll know surely for Jurassic World, and then it keeps going. So we can go ahead, and I have the trailer here. Let's go ahead. Neepain, any other comments from you? Superman versus Fantastic Four. You have. What are you more interested in? What do you think will perform better?
I think Superman might perform better. I don't know why. Maybe just watching the trailer or seeing that I've read just doesn't seem as irritating. I'm not as interested in it. But there was a toss up between the two. I would lean towards Superman, definitely.
Yeah.
I think Fantastic Four coming in, what you said, the end of July. I think if people spend all their money at the beginning of July, whatever they have left over mid July, they get that end of the July when rent's due, and people are like, well, I already went to 2 movies this month.
Yeah.
Well, and plus,
I don't think I'm going to go watch a badly done Silver Surfer.
well, and also July 4th's a Friday this year, right? And so people
Yeah.
banking on July 4th weekend going to the movies. I mean, if I was going to go away and do anything with the Friday off, I don't think movies would be it, right? I'd go some if I was going to do, right? I'd go somewhere and do something with July 4th on a Friday. So I'm not sure July
Yeah.
4th helps Jurassic World as much as it might have, let's say, if July 4th was a Wednesday, you know, or something weird like that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
All right, let's see here. Superman. Where are you? Oh, it's down here. And this is the actual, I guess what they're calling the final trailer now. This is the one, the tickets on sale trailer. So let's go ahead and play this. So I want to ask a Lex Luthor question in a second, but that's interesting there because, you know, that was the first time I think I noticed the caption saying John Williams Superman theme playing, right? And so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't hear his theme again, other than in this trailer.
Yeah.
But we'll let it play again for a little bit, and then the question I want to ask is, what are our thoughts on Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor? And what this voiceover I don't like at all. But what do you guys think about him as Lex Luthor? Is he capturing it?
He reminds me too much of Agent 47 from the Hitman video game.
Really?
I'm looking for a barcode on the back of his head every single time he's on screen. I don't know. I mean, he might be fine in the movie, but every single time I see him, that's immediately what I think of. I don't think of Lex Luthor. I think of Hitman.
I mean, he's a pretty good actor. I mean,
Yeah,
the things that he's
agree.
and I not that you can trust. You have to be careful who you trust on screenings and other things, right? But I know Chris Gore and other people have spoken to people who've seen this movie already. This movie is locked and loaded. It's 2 hours and 9 minutes. They're not making changes to this movie, and they say that he's quite sinister as Lex Luthor. That it does come across on the screen again, in those people's opinions, anecdotally, that he's one of the better parts of the movie. So I don't know. I don't like this voiceover, right? And somebody said it.
Yeah,
Extreme Meme said it in the chat. There's just something about the inflection in his voice or whatever. He doesn't have that. At least here, he doesn't seem to have that gravitas. Right.
Gene Hackman is my Lex Luthor.
I was just gonna say, when I think of Lex Luthor in a Superman movie, I always think of and it's funny, if I don't think of Gene Hackman, I think of Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. No, he did a good job also.
Even though we're not supposed to think of Kevin Spacey anymore, but
yeah, even though I didn't really care for that Superman movie that much, I thought he did a good job as Lex Luthor in that movie.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's Crypto, and what's the deal with these? I guess we don't know, and that's the point. But I mean, are these, because he's going to punch him in a second, and only teeth are going to come out, right? Are these like enhanced humans? Are they not human at all? Or there's something about the suit, right? I don't
know. I don't know. I don't know
idea.
what they're going for here. I don't know what who these people are. In Crypto, I'm just kind of like, I know he's in the comics, but this is the first time we've seen him in a movie.
And he seems
I'm
to be the
just,
star of the movie, right? He's in
yeah,
everything we see.
I don't know. A super dog? Like, it's a little too kiddie, I guess, for me, maybe. I mean, the kids will probably love it. They'll be like, "Oh my god,
Yeah,
Crypto, he's the greatest ever," but I'm just like,
I can
"Ugh,
see
Well,
that.
I
and
don't
I guess
know."
at CinemaCon they showed an extended clip in the Fortress of Solitude, and Crypto wrecks the place, and the robots are
Yeah,
furious,
I heard
right? And they
about
want to
that.
get rid of the
Yeah.
dog, and yada yada yada. And I'm like, and it is apparently modeled, no surprise, right? Modeled after James Gunn's dog, right? And that makes me like him even less, right? Just
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, it needed to be modeled after my dog, Missy.
you know
Missy
what?
from
I would
Christmas.
probably like to watch that. Having met your dog, right? I'd probably
Yeah.
rather watch Missy kick some ass. I'm
Yeah.
already over
A little
Crypto, and it's
teacup
just,
chihuahua running around, like, destroying people, like,
I
you
mean,
know?
it's like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
There it is. And then it comes, and then when as soon as those teeth hit the camera lens, right? And even look at Superman, look at his face, right? But hits the camera lens, I'm like, all right, now is he trying to do Guardians again? Why is teeth coming out? Did he not want to knock his head off? You know what I mean? If Superman punch you, your head come off.
Yeah.
Teeth clinking. Make a move, Big Blue.
Yeah.
What's the story with this baby? Do we know about the
I
baby?
don't know. I I don't know what's going on here, and it looks like I don't
Who's he
know. I'm so
fighting in this movie?
confused.
I'm kind of just where
Lex
this is
Luthor.
too much.
Apparently, the baby is known as Baby Joey, and there's speculation that that's Brainiac.
Oh God. So apparently he's fighting Lex Luthor and social media in this movie, and
Well,
all
and
the backlash that he's
super
getting.
super shit, right? And they're supposed
Yeah,
to be monkeys, and they
yeah,
whether they tone that down or not, I don't know.
yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know, a Baby Joey, and is it Brainiac? As if there isn't enough weird things going on in this movie. There's a little green baby. Oh no, Zombie Box Reviews. It looks
Looks
like
like
Baby
baby
Coach.
coach.
Oh no.
His head's big enough. That's for
Oh
sure.
Lord help. Lord help. And then she's flying around in a
Lois Lane, she
yeah,
can do all.
she's girl boss.
They chose him. Let them.
Oh, let's go back for just a second.
They chose
See,
him. On
see,
social
right
media.
here. Right, oops. Here, where these appear, I would not surprise me where these appear to be like all the same
the-
person or whatever. Would not surprise me if these aren't the monkeys or the
That's-
monkeys were replaced, right? Because this seems like the place where the monkeys would be.
That's the Doge team.
That's the this guy here certainly looks like he could be on the Doge
he
team.
got the Doge team to help him try to take down Superman, and that's who they are going to be because they're the bad guys.
Yeah. So I'm just guessing. When I saw this, I'm like, either there were never monkeys, or these are the monkeys, or because I do believe that through line on Lex Luthor trying to ruin Superman's reputation. I believe that's true, right?
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah. No, I think so. A lot of people have been reporting on that, and I think those rumors are probably pretty accurate. So,
And one other factoid I saw today float that was confirmed. Somebody was doing press. Apparently, Clark Kent has been Superman for 3 years already when this movie takes place. Just from a timeline standpoint, I don't know if that's helpful at all. But and this, right? Is that funny? Do we think that joke's funny?
no.
No.
Again, it feels very Guardians of the Galaxy-esque, right? Because now he's going to get up and he's going to heat vision all these apparently whoever these people are, right? That are trying to get him. He's going to heat vision them all, and they don't seem to die, right? I don't. Right here, right? Maybe they're dying. This one almost looks. They almost look robotic now that I look a little bit more closely. So I guess that. Of course, there's crypto again, of course.
Yeah, crypto. Yeah.
I suppose if I had to rank what now seem to be endless teasers and trailers and TV spots and snippets, I guess that was the best one, but there hasn't been one of them that really makes me think, okay, now I really want to see this.
No, I'm kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, I watched this in the theater last night, and I was like,
It doesn't even look that great on the big screen, does it?
No, it didn't.
I mean, the colors are vibrant. I mean, I like reaching for something. I like the color palette, and if they do lean into the John Williams or that kind of music, I think the scoring will be good. But yeah, like I said, I guess that's all right. I don't know anything more about this movie, I don't think, than I did before I saw the first teaser necessarily, except there's just different things that continue to confuse me. And I guess that's the point. Now, other people are saying that these trailers in some way are misdirects. Like at one point I thought when they were having that argument in the last trailer and the interview that she didn't really know he was Superman, and she was acting like she was interviewing Superman and he was getting his dander up or so on. But then in this trailer, they have a conversation where she says, well, they're going to find out that you're Superman. And he says, no, the glasses or whatever. So there is a dialogue in this trailer that makes me think, no, I mean, she knew exactly who she was interviewing, even though he was not in the Superman garb then. I just don't get it.
Yeah. Oh, the glasses, they completely disguised me. You know, I always found that stupid, even with the original Superman movies. You know, I was like, it's not that great of a disguise. A pair of glasses, come on, dude.
But we kind of suspended our disbelief then, right? And we're like, okay, this works. Here, it's become a bit. You know what I mean? I never remember it being a bit. Here, it's just like I'm like, it's not funny.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
I think they're trying to bring attention to it in a comedic way.
Well, something that I do hope will be funny, and that I am now a little bit more excited for than I think I was. Now, again, we do have to temper our expectations a little bit because it is still a Josh Gad thing, right? But we have here. Oh, let me just refresh this a second. We have here's a lot of Spaceballs news today, right? And a lot of this casting and stuff was held until they put out the little teaser, and I'll play it in a second because it is quite funny. But now we have several things confirmed. We have confirmed Mel Brooks. First of all, for people who don't know that are still with us, we're 45 strong. Appreciate y'all. Spaceballs 2 had already been announced, and now they've confirmed a release time frame. It's releasing in 2027. And now they've released some additional information about the casting. So Mel Brooks is back as Yogurt. God willing, he's 98 now. He'll be 100. He'll be 100 if he makes it to when this comes out. Yeah. But he's back as Yogurt. Rick Moranis is back.
He's coming out of retirement to reprise this role.
Yep.
Rick Moranis is, and he has not been in anything anytime.
No.
Right. He's coming back.
He wouldn't even come back for Ghostbusters.
He's coming back to do Darth
He's coming back for the sequel to Spaceballs.
Yes. And then, of course, Bill Pullman is back as well.
Yeah.
And now and by the way, now Louis Pullman has been confirmed to be in it also in some unknown. So I guess I knew that Louis Pullman was Bill Pullman's son, but he's in it as well. And now the last one that they've confirmed is Daphne Zuniga is back as Princess Vespa.
Was she going to be the queen?
I don't know. Right, and because they're keeping everything under wraps. Now, again, I said we need to temper our expectations here a little bit because Josh Gad is involved. Well, of course, Mel Brooks is involved also, but I have to tell you, Mel Brooks, when he tried to put back out the history of the world and some other things, it just wasn't good.
No, yeah, and this is Mel Brooks now. This isn't Mel Brooks from the 70s and early 80s. Mel Brooks.
Correct.
So even though I'm super hyped and excited for this movie, because Spaceballs, like, is it a great movie? No, but I have nostalgia for it. I loved it as a kid. I could still watch it today and be like, this movie's not really that great and doesn't really hold up to today's standards, but I still love it anyways. So I'm all on board for Spaceballs 2. But I have no expectations of this being a good movie. None.
Well, and I mean, on your
But
point,
I will be there opening weekend.
the first movie wasn't the first movie wasn't really, you know what I mean? It wasn't really a great movie, but it sure was fun. It was Spaceballs, right? I mean, it was it's just absolutely iconic. And I'm with you. I mean, if it does release the same time as that Starfighter movie, I'll probably see Spaceballs first.
I will also.
Things I'm waiting for. Lewis Pullman first. I don't care what his role is. They've got to make his character named Bob. Again.
If they want to poke fun at Marvel, there's no reason why they wouldn't.
Absolutely. Why not? I agree. Like, original Spaceballs was just dumb corny. I want it to do better in the box office. Than Starfighter. I want it to get higher reviews, and I will be beyond thrilled if I see like George Lucas on the red carpet, like accompanying, like, and only talking about Spaceballs.
How funny would that be if George Lucas cameoed in Spaceballs? I was
just gonna say it.
They endorsed it and everything, Lucas and just ignored Starfighter.
God, I would die. Like,
putting George Lucas in this movie. Gold. If George Lucas was in this movie, it would make $2 billion.
Oh, yes, it would.
Yeah. George Lucas is out here promoting Spaceballs 2, but not Disney sucks Star Wars freaking Starfighter movie.
Just like, assistant director, some sort of involvement, just to see his name in the credits.
Yeah.
Well, and are they really not going to call it The Search for More Money? Right? Are they really not?
They should, because I don't know. I mean, anything can change between now and the time the movie comes out, but they should definitely call it that, because the thing is, it lines up with the first one. They already called the sequel in the first one.
Yeah.
So unless there's an explanation of why it's not called that, and they kind of make a joke out of it, Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money, but there wasn't enough money, so the movie never got made, or something like that.
Hey, dude, if they take a jab at the Acolyte,
oh yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah, that'll be hilarious.
Well, if whoever wrote this teaser keeps writing for this movie, I mean, they're on the right. We'll play this now. I mean, they're on the right track.
This intro.
This is the only thing that could potentially save Star Wars right here, and Lucasfilm didn't make it. That's all I can say. This is the only hope for the franchise.
Did this intro? I think he wrote this.
Whether it was him or him and Gad together, I mean, I was laughing my butt off when I watched. Here we go. And I sent it to Nick, and Nick was like, "Is this real?" And I'm like, "Oh,
yeah." My immediate response was, "Is this real, or is this like some sort of fan thing?" And Matt's like, "No, this is legit." And so I watched it, and I was like, "Holy crap!"
There we go. So good. And the music too. I mean,
yeah,
so perfect.
A prequel trilogy, a sequel trilogy, a sequel to the prequel, a prequel to the sequel. Countless TV spin-offs. A movie spin-off of the TV spin-off, which is both of the prequel and the sequel.
My favorite is, not to mention, 2 Dunes.
Yeah, 2 Dunes, 7 Jurassic Park movies, 2 Avatars plus 3 upcoming, making 5 Avatars total. Like, the math in here, they're mathing through this whole thing right here.
And 36 MCU movies with 2 different Robert Downey Jr.'s. I mean, they're already taking a...
Yeah. The DCU one right here is hilarious. DCU attempt number 1. DCU attempt number 2.
8 Harry Potter movies, a TV series remaking the same 8.
Yeah.
and it's actually 8 TV series, right? But I guess it is technically one. Here we go. I love it.
A whole streaming service of Star Trek, Paramount Plus.
7
so
Alien
good.
movies, 2 of which were also Predator movies, not to be mistaken for the 6 Predator movies that are not also Alien movies. 1 Prometheus, which is kind of an Alien movie.
Yeah. Whoever, if it was literally just him that wrote this, Mel Brooks, on Solo, he nailed it. I'm guessing he probably had the help from Gad, but yeah, this is great. This intro here.
And Oppenheimer.
But 38 years, there's only ever been one.
So when it comes out in
Spaceballs.
2027, Spaceballs will be 40,
Yeah.
and Star Wars will be 50.
Yep.
After 40 years, we asked, what do the fans want?
Love the sweatshirt.
But instead, we're making this movie.
Spaceballs, the sweatshirt.
May the Schwartz be with you.
Spaceballs, the flamethrower. Spaceballs, the lunchbox. Merchandising.
Well, the other thing about it, again, tempering expectations. I'm pretty sure it's an Amazon release, right? Or it's an MG. It's an MGM movie. I don't think they're
Is
going
this
to
not a
tinker.
theatrical release?
Yeah, they're putting it in the theaters.
Okay, I was getting there to say, if this doesn't come in theaters.
No, it said only in theaters, right? That's why I
Okay,
said
okay.
it's got to compete against Starfighter. It has to. It
Oh
has
yeah.
to.
I'm
And then I
not
see
feeling
it-
like we should organize, get the dates down, and just have like an EBN.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and then
Go
Get
support
together for this one.
Spaceballs,
Coach is
not
here, and I think I
Starfighter.
saw someone else mention it. Wasn't there some original agreement with George Lucas? And I think someone hit on in
Yes.
the chat that he was fine with the Star Wars references or whatever, as long as they didn't monetize it with gear,
Action figures.
with action figures and whatever.
Yeah.
And for now, he probably doesn't care, right?
Yeah.
He'd probably be in the movie, and he could care less, right? What they're doing, but then also I saw people talking about, obviously Joan Rivers is not with us. John Candy, of course, was a very big
Yeah.
part of this movie. I hope, and I took the AI article out and some of the other things too for today. But I hope we don't get CGI John Candy and AI. You know what I mean? I hope.
Oh yeah.
I hope they make fun of it. I hope they mock that.
Yeah,
Like
or
have a
if so,
bad
they do something so
CGI.
bad it's funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Exactly.
in dog years, they could go that route too. Barf in dog years lived to be like 100 and something. He was a dog. And they could like have like a grave. Like, oh, here's Barf. My best friend. There's got to be a Barf reference in here.
Yeah. Well, there's probably another dog vomit.
Well, like I say, I mean, I hope we get, maybe Josh Gad will help, right? Will help dial Mel Brooks in a little bit. Because again, I've seen a few of Mel Brooks's recent things. Again, the History of the World or whatever, the miniseries where it was just him trying to be Mel Brooks.
Mhm.
It was unwatchable. I couldn't finish it.
Oh, that was harsh. Yeah.
Right.
I couldn't
And
finish that
so
either.
I think he needs
I have
a
a
buddy.
friend of
at
mine
some-
loved it. And he tried many times. Like, gotta try it again. I like tried it 3 times. Like, dude, I can't.
I couldn't. So I hope I hope Josh Gad is a good buddy, if you know what I mean, right? And just
Yeah,
dialing
yeah.
him in and keeping it on point and trying to bring it, because if it could really knock it out of the park. I mean, especially if, in a weird way, right? Especially if the Naked Gun thing does well, right? And we start to have a resurgence on some of these things that people might write off as, like we were talking about, corny and not very good and of a certain
Yeah.
age. there's enough of us old people are still with that will go out and watch this stuff. I mean,
Oh,
we can
yeah.
make them some money.
I will be there opening weekend for Spaceballs 2 for sure. Fantastic Four skipping. Superman, I will wait until maybe Sunday of that opening weekend to hear word of mouth. But Spaceballs, I'll be there night one for that one.
Yeah, I'll see Jurassic World opening weekend. I'll see Superman opening weekend. Fantastic
Jurassic
Four.
World will be another one that I'm gonna wait and hear word of mouth. Fantastic Four, I'm not seeing it at all.
But this one, yeah, I mean this is a no brainer. I don't even care
Yeah.
if people in screeners or whatever say it sucks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't care.
Yeah. I'm still seeing it. Yeah. Regardless.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't have a Spaceballs 2 teaser and casting announcement in my bingo card for today. Is there something relevant about June the 12th and Spaceballs that I missed?
Not
Right,
that
I
I know
don't.
of.
Yes, T-Rex, there is a new Naked Gun movie coming out, and
Yeah.
Liam Neeson plays it's coming out sometime soon, isn't it? August or September?
I
And
think
Liam
so, but
Neeson plays the Drebin of it all. He plays Drevin's
Yeah.
son. So, and people saw an extended cut of that at a very raunchy and funny extended cut of Naked Gun also in CinemaCon.
yeah.
And
Yep.
I'll bring up that trailer. Someone's requesting it, and they said it was exactly the DNA. I mean, that they had, whoever did it had captured the DNA of Naked Gun quite well. So who knows? I mean,
I heard that there was some backlash with some people on the Naked Gun movie. Like somebody was going to be involved. I can't remember what it was. It was someone from the original movie was going to be involved or something, and they didn't like include them or.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, there was some sort of. I can't remember what it was. We talked about it on HCast a couple weeks ago. Crap, what was it? Naked. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, you're looking for that? I'll
Yeah,
play.
yeah. If you want to play it, yeah.
Here it is for people asking about Naked Gun. It's worth another play, just for the OJ part of it, actually.
Yeah.
Multiple SWAT units responding to hostage situation.
Hey, little girl, stop.
Very-
What do you want, little one? Your ass.
Who are you?
Frank Drebin, Police Squad. The new version. Hi, Daddy. It's me, Frank Jr. Love you.
Hey, Dad. Boy, do I miss you.
This is where I was sold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yep.
So the OJ thing, a lot of people were pissed off because of that. I thought
Really?
it was hilarious.
And like I said, R&B and other people who were at Comic-Con, and they said it got a lot of laughs, that bit. And every time I've seen this trailer in the theater, people who are old enough to know are laughing. I mean, it's funny.
Yep. Yeah, one of the articles says film fans have been left shocked after an O.J. Simpson joke was included in the first teaser trailer for Naked Gun remake starring Liam Neeson. Like people were like offended, by including him in that, and it's like, what?
I've been offended if they didn't.
Yeah, the thing is, everybody is. There's so many freaking pussies out there today. I'm sorry, guys. There just is. Come on, it's a comedy.
You can't address Naked Gun without the OJ of it all. I mean, come on, it's please whatever. So I mean, again, this is another one for me. It's a Paramount thing, okay? And I forgot it was what's his name, Seth MacFarlane. This is an opening weekend for me. I'll be very happy to give them my patronage to see a Naked Gun. If they put out a new Airplane movie, I would go to that too. By the way, I have no our police academy. I
Yeah,
have no problem with these coming back if they can do them right.
Yeah, and the thing is, you're not going to be able to compare to the originals, you know. But if you can at least honor the originals, that's literally all I'm looking for in the new Naked Gun movie. If you honor the original one, all right, I'm good with it. It's not going to be anywhere near as good. I'm guessing is the original Naked Gun movies. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
You know, Liam Neeson, he's funny, or he
He
can
is.
be.
Yeah.
Right. So just the fact that he's the lead of this, and now again, it could, for all we know, it's a bait and switch and yada 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 yada. But I believe he's actually the lead. I don't think they're jerking our chains on this one. For me, it's worth it for that alone. I mean, for goodness sake. For goodness sake. All right. Well, we did it. We did it. The entire agenda. What do you think about that? We did it. I tried to put it on the X again, Nick, but I think it did expire. So I think our X days are over. So
You know, and I saw some people out there on the Twitter space like, oh,
I saw it too.
yeah, you're getting rid of your ex people. You know, the only reason we were streaming to Twitter was because I accidentally paid the $300
It's
for
expensive.
premium. You know, I did that on accident. You know, and I did go to coach and was like, hey, I screwed up, you know, give me half of the money. You know, it was my screw up. It cost me money. So we took advantage of it while we had it, you know, and now it ran out and we're not spending that kind of money to renew it. So it was fun while it lasted. Now we're just back to just doing YouTube.
Well, that's all right. I mean, I know with us covering more than just Star Wars now and all that, it'll take a second. We had 50 people here. We were 50 people, 50 EBN folks strong. So totally thankful to have the people who stuck around for the agenda. I'm very happy to have Knee Pain here. Thanks for being with us. And so, Nick, are you on tomorrow? For all kidding aside, are you on tomorrow for EBN Cast, or is this an off week?
I'm planning on doing it. But I also have a buddy of mine that I've known since the 3rd grade that's supposed to be driving through town on his way back to Alabama. And I don't know what time he's going to be coming through. We were supposed to, we might go grab lunch. So I don't know. I don't know what time he's going to be here. So it may or may not happen tomorrow.
So we're gonna say that's an off week for EBN Cast, but if you see it, it'll be at 2 o'clock. It'll 3 o'clock Eastern tomorrow, 2 o'clock Central.
Yep.
And then we'll be back again next week. So like I said, really appreciate having everyone here in the chat. Oh, I need to do something. I said to Knee Pain, I'm so out of practice from doing the button pressing. And so like I said, so glad to have everybody here. Where is it? Okay, I found it. So because you redid everything. Appreciate having everyone here. Like I said, more videos as we can. We'll find some other things to put on Patreon. Nick, I noticed you said you still have to see the Predator Killer of Killers. I did put it on Patreon. So if that's an easier way for you to watch,
so
Patreon.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I'm gonna watch it this weekend for sure. But yeah, I saw somebody ask earlier in the chat if I'd seen it yet. I have not.
I've actually watched it twice now because I watched it once and then I was just gonna. Well, of course, I always watch it when I put it on Patreon, but I actually did. I was like, I'm just gonna watch this again. And Venger's right; it's very, very bloody. Right? It's an R-rated. You know what you're getting into, and it's odd to see R-rated animation. It's bloody, right? They don't, and there's the language. There's foul language as well in one of the vignettes.
It is rated R.
So it should be rated R. But I think you're going to really like it. I was pleasantly surprised with it.
So from what I heard the last segment of the storyline during the World War II part was the best.
You know, it was the best, I think, because it resonated the most for us. And they did the planes that they were flying. I mean, the planes that everyone wanted to fly from World War II. You know, the Spitfires, and just that story. I enjoyed it, but I have to tell you, there was a Japanese segment of two brothers, Japanese shoguns, that was just beautifully animated. Now, the animation is more like Into the Spider-Verse type animation, so it's that kind of animation. But as much as I enjoyed the World War II one, probably the Japanese one was my favorite. The first one's about Vikings.
Yeah.
First one's Vikings. Second one is Japanese samurai. The last one is about World War II. And then there's a fourth act, which I won't spoil for you, right? Then something happens in the fourth act that I wasn't expecting, and then the movie is over. So,
Okay.
yeah. So again, it's a
All right.
recommend. It's a recommend. It's on Patreon if you don't have Hulu, and I've been talking it up during the stream. So again, thanks everyone for being here. Appreciate you all a lot. As we always say here, we are, you are, EBN.
EBN.
I know. I have to be careful. And we'll see
Yeah.
you all on the next one. Appreciate
Bye.
you.
Bye, guys.